If you ever seen one of those videos where you make a Bartop arcade, do you ever wonder how they do that? Well, if you stick with me and follow all of my instructions, I will show you how I do it, which is probably not the right way, so hope I don't lose any fingers. Gary, put a list of all the materials on the screen, please. While you look at that, before we start, I wanted to make it clear that I am a rank amateur. I put this project off for a while out of nervousness, so I finally gave myself 2 afternoons to do it, and I just went for it. I made a lot of mistakes. You're going to see I made a lot of mistakes, but I did it, right? The system is totally unique to me, and it actually works. So feel free to leave all sorts of comments about my mistakes. I'm going to make a better cabinet in the future, and I appreciate the advice. Oh, and sorry for my voice. I think I inhaled too much sawdust during this project. Anyway, thanks again, and enjoy the show you're about to watch. Your first step is going to be to either design your plans from scratch or find a good one online. I went with Galactic Starcade because it was about the right size, and I made some slight modifications, mostly because my screen was smaller than the one they used. You're going to want to get all these puzzle pieces assembled, tape it down, and then score through it so you have the marks on your board. If it's a little bit off, it's not the end of the world because we're just going to flip it and cut the same exact shape on the other side. You can see if I angle it in the sun, that those score marks are pretty visible. In retrospect, I probably could have gone all the way down to the edge, but this did get a little bit scuffed as I was transporting it. I don't think I'm going to be able to do better than this with my jigsaw, but I wanted to give myself a little wiggle room and also little scrap pieces because I'm going to use these edge pieces as interior parts. The cut didn't come through super clean there, but I'll clean it up with the pencil. You can always measure and draw and score a couple times, but you can only cut once. So it's important, if you don't want to go to the Home Depot again, to make sure you're doing a slow and accurate job. That's not too bad. Yikes! Hey.
Oh, you got a project going on?
Oh yeah.
What you doing?
Making a Bartop arcade.
What's that?
A Bartop arcade.
Bartop arcade.
If you hear screaming, you know that I've made a terrible mistake with the jigsaw.
Alright, man. Enjoy.
Alright, thank you. I'm going to transfer this over now. I got an idea. Clamps. I got this clamp down. I'm just going to transfer it over. Ta-da. I'm going to cut this one off camera. Maybe if I don't feel the pressure of filming, I'll cut better. I did a little better off camera. You can see that that's definitely not the same shape. A little ripped up here. So we're going to get the sander out again. We're going to clean this up. I'm going to clamp these together. So hopefully I can get them to look at least the same. Where's my clamp? It's not 100% perfect, but it's good enough for me. It might not be good enough for you, and let that be a reminder. Take your time, don't rush. Let's cut out the other pieces. So this is all just going to be scrap. But that up there, and this edge here, I'm going to use for my boards. I got all my measurements, so now we're just going to have some sped up motion of me awkwardly measuring things. You can see here I got half of my panels marked out. The corn panel front, the whole back, and the bottom. And then the rest is going to be, I can get a piece out of this and scrap, and I got a whole other piece of wood. So we're doing great on wood. Oops!
Much later.
Sometimes if you're stupid, you have to stupid-proof these projects. So I just noted, this goes this way, and this goes up and down. My tape measure. So as is, this is gonna come out a little bit over the monitor, and that's fine. I want room to be able to cut, because I can't cut worth I want a little bit of room to be able to correct my probable, almost 100% certain mistakes. Hey! Screen. How do you like that? Let's see if it worked. Uh-oh. Do you see that? Crap. It's too big. Dang it. It's too big. Oh well. That's okay. I guess the Zoocade Mark II will be better, right? Right? I'm not a carpenter. I got this little piece of scrap wood. I'm just gonna cut it by hand and we're gonna glue it in there. Only you and I will know. Tell you what, a little bit of wood glue, I can work with that. It's just gonna be me and you that knew that we screwed it up. Okay, my plan, kind of, remember at the beginning when I scored those lines? Now that's gonna help us here because now I know where everything fits. So bottom is quite naturally gonna go on the bottom, and I'm gonna put top on here. So I'm gonna stack this up, I'm gonna put a bead of glue down, I'm gonna nail it in place with finish nails. I don't have a air gun or anything like that, it's all gonna be hand. I'm gonna use drywall screws if I have to. I'm gonna try for some finish nails. Now if Gary was helping, we'd be set. But he decided he's a big shot, he's not gonna come help me today. He's gonna do other stuff with his therapy group. So Gary, whatever, you're a jerk. You know what? Sorry, glue. We're gonna do it from the side. Now this is a pain in the butt to do by yourself, no helper, no Gary, and no power tools, but it can be done. You just need to just go for it. Almost square, but now we're getting there. Now, you have half your box assembled. Cue sped up footage. You know what? That's not too bad for some dummy that did this all in the space of an afternoon. Now that's not the best thing in the world, but it's better than what we had. So I'm gonna try to dry fit this in here to get an idea of where I need to put supports and what kind of miter cuts I might need to make. Is that right? That's not too bad, all things considered. I'm gonna tack the front in there, and then we're gonna figure out that little angle cut on the bottom. Here's where we gotta make a real brave decision. Do I wanna get the miter saw out, especially considering how bad I screwed up the back, or do I wanna just kinda leave it like that? Change the design on the fly. Now originally the control panel was at angle, what is that? At a 12.5 degree angle. Now it's more flush. That eliminates 2 miter cuts, which I will screw up, and I can make this a little bit easier to remove. I have some T screws I'm gonna put in so I can make this more modular and pop it out. Guess who's back? Back again. I'm back at Home Depot. Tell your friend. Good morning. Today we're going to start by priming everything before we begin final assembly. There also appears to be a significant fire happening in the background, so I apologize if you hear sirens. Might have to go back and get another can of spray paint, dang it. Base coat is dried. I'm going to sand it down real lightly. I've also decided I want to paint this the accent color. So we're going to have accents along these angles, and I want the monitor cover to be painted accent color too. I'm going to do the trim. I'm going to let it dry, go get more paint, and clean up any overspray with the other gray paint. The depending on how this dries, I might leave it like this. I kind of like the patina of the purple starting to dissolve. It makes it feel like an old Super Nintendo. You can see in the sun definitely where there was some overspray. So we're gonna have to hit this with gray real good, maybe 2 more coats, and it'll be looking real sharp. All right, so this is the control panel. This is gonna be facing you. So my idea was, I wanted to get this, Velcro it, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4 USB outputs, and this is gonna plug into the mini PC in the back. And I'm gonna have to drill a big hole, because this USB cable is kind of big. If I could take this apart and re-splice it, I probably wouldn't be making YouTube videos about retro handhelds. So I'm gonna have to just do with what I can. Okay, here's your bravery test. We'll get a file in there and round that out a little bit. But for now, so we measured out where our bolts were for those T-nuts. Drill our holes. Now we're gonna go test fit these and see if I'm an idiot or a genius. I 100% measured it correctly. I didn't have to pull these out and rearrange them. There's a lot of different ways you can do this. You can get a power unit, you can have it so you have your port right on the back or on the side so it's stable, all sorts of stuff you can do. I'm just gonna take the easy way out. So what I did was I just grabbed some scrap wood and I roughly framed the monitor where it needed to be. Then I hammered it in with some nails, which are just to hold it steady, and then I started building up. So you see I have this little structure here, this little structure, and it's enough to really hold it in. The nails aren't gonna be strong enough to hold it though, so I have to secure this and this with some drywall screws, just like I did with these pieces I built. We are getting close to final assembly. Control panel, hot from the sun, screw him into place. Sturdy. I'm gonna get this monitor in there. Oh, shit. All right, reset. Well, I tell you what, it's always something. Okay. There we go. Okay. You know what? It's not the best. I wouldn't buy this, but I made it for roughly $70. That's not bad. All right, the back door has finished drying. We have a little screw hole here for a possible lock in the future. We have a little cord hole, and we need to put some hinges on. Where are the hinges, Gary? Because of my incredibly poor jigsaw work, there's actually enough of a gap. I don't have to mortise this out. I can just mount it on there flat. So that's what we're gonna do. If you're an actual woodworker and you're watching this, please comment how many times you've yelled at the monitor. Okay, moment of truth. Hey! How do you like that? It's all kind of together, right? I have zero expertise in this, and yet, it's all kind of together. We're getting there. So I briefly wanted to go over the internals. You see our monitor with my super high-tech shims of a broken brush or something I used to level this out a little bit. We have our power strip. I have my power cord to the monitor. I have my power cord for my mini PC. This is an Ace PC PicoBox Lite. It's about $150. I did a review on it. For this build, I put a Bartop drive in there. I have a USB going out to the front for the controllers. I have HDMI connecting it to the monitor, and that's the power input. You don't need to have a mini PC for this. Honestly, you can get yourself a $30 game stick. I'm gonna review this in a week or two, but we've seen a bunch of these before. Get a $30 game stick, plug it into the back of the monitor, and you're good to go. You can also use these mini consoles I've reviewed, like the Hyperbase FC, or the Super Console X, or any of them. As long as it has HDMI out, you're good to go. Or heck, let's get crazy. Got an old handheld you don't use and it has an HDMI port? Put that in there. Plug the power in, plug the HDMI in, heck, plug a speaker in the bottom. Bob's your uncle, there you go. So what I'm really trying to say is you have a lot of options when it comes to the guts. Especially if you just want to emulate arcade and lower end stuff, you can get by with a $35 game stick. On the other end of the spectrum, if you want to emulate every single game possible, stay tuned for my video on this Kinhank 12 terabyte hard drive. 12. It's got practically every game from the 70s until last week. Stay tuned for that. Thanks to our old buddy Regs, we have some vinyl decals for the top of the marquee. I have it taped kind of where I want it to be, but we're just gonna go ahead and do it live. Zoo reviews. Pretty slick. What did we learn? Well, I think we learned that I'm not the first person you should call if you need some carpentry done around your house, but that's okay. A lot of these guide videos have guys in full shops, or maybe they're using basic tools, but they're experienced craftsmen. They know what they're doing. But you don't have to be super skilled to make one of these Bartop cabinets. Just take your time, be safe, don't be a dummy, and you can do it. I learned a lot building this thing, and I already want to do a full-size cabinet in addition to modifying this one. I want to do actual buttons for this. I want to maybe add some T-molding. Heck, maybe I'll swap out the marquee for a piece of plexiglass. I still have some Zoo Reviews lettering. I could light it from behind and it'll say Zoo Reviews and lights. I like that. I also thought it might be cool to see how budget I could go. Maybe just using pallet wood instead of MDF. There's a bunch of pallets by my work. That'd be cool. That would be pretty cheap if you could source a real cheap monitor and one of them game sticks. I don't know. But if you want to see anything like that, please like and subscribe. This is super out of my normal window of videos, so sharing, liking, and subscriptions will let us know if you enjoyed it. I hope you guys like it. I really enjoyed doing it, and I want to make more. Now, I did limit myself to a 2-day weekend kind of time frame, so there was a lot I had to skimp on. Like, I didn't do a proper joystick board. I didn't add T-molding. Like I said before, if you're interested, I could go all out next time. I also condensed this video down a lot, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to post an unlisted longer version as well. So let me know in the comments, and I don't know, I'll add it as a pinned link. As you saw towards the end of the video, I did do some minimal decorating, but you really do have a lot of options. Like if you know someone that has a Cricut machine, is that how you say it? Cricut? Cricut? Vinyl stickers. Or, heck, if you're handy with a ruler and a knife, I got that monitor surround stuff at the dollar store. It was $1. Well, it's $1.25 now. Stupid economy. Heck, go get a paint pen and some old stickers and really make it your own. Speaking of making it your own, that's kind of what this video evolved into. I really wanted to build a Bartop cabinet, but I didn't because I was nervous about not making precise cuts or messing up or just whatever, but who cares? There's a lot you can fix with wood putty and paint. So go ahead and give it a shot if you're interested. And remember, if they don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy, huh? Get that reference? Thanks for watching, everybody. See you later.